Hi, my name is Byron Sparkman, and I'm one of the counselors here at Smithfield Middle School. This presentation is designed to help you help your fifth grade students select their sixth grade classes. I hope you'll find this very informative. First thing I want to mention is that Smithfield Middle School has 8 periods in the course of the day. Each class period lasts about 44 minutes with a 4-minute passing period. Also, our school year is split into 2 halves, a first semester and a second semester. Most of the classes that 6th graders take will be full year classes, but there are some electives that are half year or 1 semester classes. A couple of things that are new this year I want to mention. First, English Language Arts and Reading. Those 2 classes will be linked together, so the student will take them back to back with the same teacher. That's important because when you're selecting on-level versus pre-AP, you'll need to select on-level English Language Arts and on-level Reading, or pre-AP English Language Arts and pre-AP Reading. You can't mix those 2. A second thing that's new to our 6th graders this year is that across the district we'll be offering pre-AP social studies. We haven't had that offering in 6th grade in the past, and so that'll be brand new this year. So I've mentioned pre-AP a couple times now. What is pre-AP? Pre-AP is pre-advanced placement. Advanced placement classes in high school are classes that culminate in the taking of an advanced placement exam. A student that does well in those exams can pick up college credit before they leave high school. So our pre-AP classes at the middle school are classes that are designed to lead into those classes in high school. It's an accelerated program, an honors level program. The student, and you need to know that there are a couple of things really important about pre-AP classes. First is the pace. These classes move quickly. They're designed to move quickly. If your student requires a lot of time or extra time to get things accomplished, pre-AP might not be a good option for them. Secondly, you need to keep in mind that these classes involve a lot of rigor. They are very, very challenging classes, going in depth in those subjects. So pace and rigor are very, very important when it comes to selecting pre-AP classes. Can a student get into or out of pre-AP after they've selected those for the year? The answer is yes. Usually we make schedule changes at the end of a grading period, end of a 6 weeks or a semester. But you also need to keep in mind that not all classes are offered each period. So it may mean making multiple class changes in order to make that happen in a student's schedule. There are some other important considerations to keep in mind when helping your students select their classes. First, just remember that outside school activities can impact the amount of time they have for homework, the amount of rest they may get for school, and so they may want to keep that in mind, especially when selecting some pre-AP classes. Your student will want to think short range. What sounds good today? You need to help them think long range. What sort of classes will help them down the road? What sort of things they might be interested in taking now as well as later, and how that all works together. Commitment versus change. It's important that the students understand that when they leave the elementary school for the summer, that last day of school in May or June, that they're leaving, when they leave, their selections for the next school year is locked in. We have to base our creation of classes upon the number of students that want to take those classes. And so there might not be space to make a change later on. Secondly, when they're committing to such classes as band or choir, they're committing not only to that subject, but they're committing to the other students in the class. Their placement into those classes may mean playing particular instruments, and it may be that the band is relying on those students to be there in coming years. So they're making a commitment to those classes, to their fellow classmates, to that subject. Students who are in special programs, such as the Bravo program, special ed classes, hearing impaired classes, should talk to their teachers about what they should take in the coming school year. They'll provide direction as to what's appropriate for those students in those areas. It may also impact the electives that they choose, so it's very important that that conversation take place with those folks that are involved. Should also note that for our electives that there are clubs outside of school. So if a student, for instance, wants to participate in theater but can't work that into their schedule in 6th grade, that's not a problem. There's a theater club where they can participate. They don't have to have any experience. Same thing with art. There's an art club that they can participate in outside of the school day. So those clubs are available to the students as well to help in those situations where they might not get the elective they want. Your student has received the paperwork to bring home as far as their selections for 6th grade. If you have questions about the process itself in the selecting of the classes, please contact me. If you have questions about the proper placement for your student, whether or not they should take a pre-AP level class, then talk to your 5th grade teacher about that. They'll know your son or your daughter and can provide some guidance in that area. If you have questions about any of our electives, feel free to email our teachers who are involved in those electives. For choir, that would be Miss Crawford, and all of these email addresses are on our website. For band, that would be Mr. McDonald. For art, that would be Miss Hurst. For theater, that would be Miss Harris. For Spanish, Miss Medina. And for touch systems or keyboarding, that would be Miss Clifton. Feel free to email any of these folks with questions that you might have concerning those courses. I hope this video presentation has been informative. Please do not hesitate to email me if you have any questions. My name again is Byron Sparkman, one of the counselors here at Smithfield Middle School. We look forward to having your 5th grader at our school this next year. We will have a very special day before the school year starts in the fall to invite them up so that they can get their schedule, see where their classes are, get settled in before that first day of school. More information about that will be coming later in the year. Thank you very much for your participation in this process of selecting 6th grade classes.